Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Kale on Wednesday, April 23rd. Oh my god, it's April 23rd. Woo! 2025. Today we're looking at some OBS C++ plugin templates for my AStartup Hour of Seconds, which is where you work 1 hour on your secondary thread / project. I do it right when I wake up from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. so I can help get my son to school and eat breakfast with him. And then I do 2 hours worth of work on my main project / thread. You could also just clean your house because that's also a secondary thread activity. And because sometimes your house is so messy you just can't get to work. So what are we gonna do? Find us in github.com /a*startup /a*startup MCC Mission Control Center. That is it's not anywhere near working. All I can do is like select a GitHub issue ticket and like a dummy GitHub issue ticket. So we need to load up the repos. There's like a long story. I have a really good database schema for the website, but that stuff's like not all open source. It's a business, This is the open source component of it. So we need to automate mission-driven development. Mission-driven development is a form of Scrum that facilitates non-blocking pull requests and code merges and continuous integration, and facilitates a stack-based Scrum approach to break you free from the shackles of what's the word I'm looking for? Like astigmatism is making it so you can't see the forest for the trees because all you're looking at is just one little itty bitty little thing, your story points or whatever. I think that's people's biggest criticism is, all right, so where's the problem lie? Problem lies in change management. What's that book? What's that software engineering book from the 90s? Forget. If you look up change control management, and so, what you got to do is you got to have artifact reduction or elimination, and then you have to eliminate the train wreck of moving into the new change. So you're going to do this through some logging change request, initial evaluation, and detailed evaluation, which includes a problem and a solution statement in mission-driven development, which I am the author of, by the way, making recommendations to the sponsor or governance board. And so our default is that we have a incident command system default structure for your startup. Which is used by the police, military, and fire. So we're treating things as if there's a mission and then there's incidents. Okay? What is an incident? Incident's like a forest fire or like a war, right? Or like a product. Now, a product can have multiple incidences, right? So an incident is like a giant ordeal that you're going through, right? So we also have to interface with the outside world. I'm going off on a tangent. What are we doing today? Last time I looked at the OBS source.h. I started looking at the output. So the way that these things work, this one was short. This is just a struct. So the source is like you have like a bunch of function pointers that you define your source. Where is that? What is that? Where are all the function pointers? Am I going crazy? No, here, they're in the thing. Right, it's in the struct. We have these things, and this is like an interface. Okay, get function, get properties, function pointer. What you're gonna do is either in C or in C++, you will define these functions just like you would any other interface. All right, and that's how your plugin's gonna work. You render, pretty easy to understand. Seems to be pretty straightforward. If you've poked around OBS long enough, there's not a whole lot of new stuff. You know, there's like each action that you do in OBS, there's like a hook for it, right? It's pretty easy to understand. You know, it's just interfaces with C and C++. This one's pretty short. OBS properties. It's the same gig. Guess I was a little bit confused there last time. So what's in the encoder? We don't really have to look at the encoder. We're not doing anything with this. That is interesting. Packet interleave request. All right. We don't have to look at any of that. A service, we're not implementing a service. Data, we're not implementing that. Properties. We would use this, right? Property, invalid. Okay, so yeah, we would definitely want to look at this. We're going to have to edit these properties. So you create a property the same way. Like, same type of deal. I mean, that's, how else are you going to implement a plugin? You have to have an interface for a plugin, right? Or in this case, a ghetto CABI that is compatible with C or C++. Nothing really too particularly interesting from a programming perspective going on in there. I would say that would be nuts and bolts. So what was the plugin that I found that I wanted to look at? Still copying all them files. Only halfway done. Oh, shoot. Visual Studio Code is not open. My cameras are about to glitch. Woo. VS Code always glitches out the cameras whenever they start out. All right. What's that thing? Huh? Oh. What am I doing? Oh shoot. You know what? I'm gonna have to open up. I'm gonna have to add a folder to the workspace. That is I'm trying to move my my thing over to a different drive. And I'm copying all the files. Right, so everything's in here. The open source thing, it's gonna make everything chunk though. Let's just do OBS. Yes. All right. This will work. Audio pan. All right, so we have a bunch of them that we could look at. So the background removal one, this is something I want to contribute to. Where do we want to look at? Gradient source. That's cool. I mean, for a starting place. Source copy. Oh yeah, I was going to turn on the camera again because we're done with the thing. Huh? Virtual cam, WebSockets. What was that? Markdown, right. So here's the Markdown plugin. Let's look at the README. What does it say? Yeah, this system's still pretty decent. I'm rocking the 12 core Ryzen 9 5900X, which are pretty cheap right now. It's okay. I kind of wish I had an AI mini PC. I've been lusting after the Ryzen AI 9 HX 370 with 64 gigabytes of soldered RAM because you need that extra speed for the LLM, because when you get up to that many gigabytes, like 30 gigabytes, it just starts going chunk. And you need, you're going to be getting like 7 tokens a second. And so you add on that 30% faster RAM for soldered, and then it's starting to go at a decent speed. And then anything beyond that, it's like, yeah, you have that much GPU RAM, and yes, I can load up a neural network with that RAM, but I could also stick an eGPU on it too. And then that's going to give me RTX. So, I personally am going that route because I think that makes more sense for me personally. Because if I do 32 gigabytes GPU RAM on that Ryzen AI 9 HX 370, and then I do another 16 gigabytes for a 5060 Ti, right? Then I'm at 48 gigabytes of RAM. I can run my LLM private. I can run 16 gigabytes of other stuff that isn't an LLM. I could just run different LLM models in there, or I could do some training on it. And then I got a 3092 that is reserved for computer graphics, for Unreal Engine, and yeah, an LLM when it's not in use. So that gives me, with that's 48. I'm at 64 gigs GPU RAM between those, which is pretty decent for the price, given I got the 3090 for $700 back when they were cheap. I wish I would have gotten a NVIDIA. What is that? The P40. That one would be dope. They were 24 gigs, Pascal generation, and they're good for running LLMs, but they were like under $200 for a while. Now they're like $350, which is still decent, but I don't know. The 16-bit float definitely reduces the accuracy of the neural network, such as, for instance, recalling the digits of pi. Now, it all depends on the speed of the neural network, how fast you want it to go, and how accurate you need the neural network to go. Because calculating the digits of pi is kind of, not really something you would typically do. What am I doing? Entity. Let's look at this entity. What's in here? Markdown. I'm almost tempted to go GNU, but I just, for me personally, what I'm trying to do with this is definitely going to be something that GNU would have turned me off on. I wouldn't have looked at it. So, what is this? There's nothing marked down. Nothing in the header? I hate it when they have lower snake case structs. It's hideous. I hate their lower snake case function names too. Source set. Here, let's get rid of this. Whoa. What is that? How did I do that? What? I did not know you could. Oh, wow, this is new. You know how you could do this? Now you can hold it down. If it wants to work, it stopped working. Oh, no, it's 1, 2, 3. No, it's 1, 2. There we go. Hey, that's super sweet. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, wow. That is so cool. I love it. Unfortunately, most of the cool features of Windows, most people don't even know. They're like, they require tricks. I personally wish I could kill all the keyboard shortcuts in Windows and just control everything. What are you doing? Allocating your memory, deleting it. You got a name. What is this? What is this? What is this? This is garbage, dude. Do you not notice what? Okay, if you didn't notice what's going on here, this guy does not have a bounds for his string buffer when he did his string compare. That's a vector for buffer injection attacks. This is Exceldro's code, huh? Wow. There's a blaring. Wait. Yeah, this was Exceldro's code. Right. Like, dude, Exceldro, you have a buffer overflow injection vulnerability blaringly sitting out here like a bozo. Like, what the hell, dude? I mean, this guy's a legend in the OBS plugin scene community. Exceldro is like a household name, dude. Literally, it's like you stream, you use OBS for anything that's like requires a plugin. You probably know who Exceldro is, dude. It's like, wow. Okay. So what do I do? Go over here to Exceldro. Let's go make a report. Never do this ever again, dude. Never do this ever again, bro. I love your brother. But this is like, wow. But this is wow. This is really bad, bro. Okay, remove. Okay, no. Never do this again. All right, I have to go to the bathroom real quick, and I need to look. I just need to quick look through all these things again, and then uh, I need to just make sure that I want to go off of Exceldro's bozo ass markdown plugin here. All right. Streamlabs plugin for OBS did not get a good review. Okay, instant slow motion capture recording. Source doc. Get some more bozo buffer injection. Is actually over here with Excel over here. Um, what is this source doc? I mean, this is cool. What am I even trying to do? Markdown would be cool. All right. I think I'm just gonna go with the markdown because honestly, I need to have the markdown. And lower thirds editor. This one looks cool. And this guy YouTuber. No. I'll do lower thirds. Hey, that's cool. OCR. This one's cool. Yeah, but this one's really out of date. Most of these OCR things are just not that good. They use the what's that one? Terrasac, which is really old and is totally not good anymore. It was one of the first ones to do the that technique. There's definitely better ones though. Haven't found any that work with an MPU. That'd be dope though. Okay, I think I'm ready to dive into the Markdown plugins. So let's see, how do I build the plugins? I'm sorry, I should have known this stuff by now. I feel bad, but I can't feel too bad. Let's go look at his Excel dros thing. Up. Okay. Definitely easier to see stuff in here, and then we get rid of the all this stuff. LBS PTZ. I wouldn't mind playing around with this one too. Ah, why is it doing that? That's by default. I guess it's easier to click up there. Huh? I don't know why I always right click on there. Pretty easy to click there. I wish this wasn't so big. This is like giant. All right. So where are we at? Media, data, locale, China, US. Those are the two biggest markets, right? Yeah, screw those filthy, stinking Europeans, right? Make them pay a tariff. I'm joking. The tariffs are just outrageous, man. I can't stand it. So at least it's all in like the root folder. I like it when it's in the root folder. It's just these are better for modules. I don't really like C++ modules. A lot of people don't. Mark down the H. There's nothing in there. Woo! Whole bunch of BS. I'm sorry. What is MD4 again? Isn't that like a checksum? Isn't that like a hash? Message digest algorithm. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta finish one. So yeah. So is this guy just doing it for as a primitive checksum? I don't understand. Or is like he like a hacker or something? He's like hacking everybody with OBS. I just don't understand why you have a checksum with a markdown. I mean, I can understand using a simple primitive hash that's like, yeah, sure, it's not cryptographically secure, but who cares, right? I don't know. Maybe he's had problems. You know, sometimes your file goes bad. Sometimes when a bit flips, it doesn't matter. And sometimes it really does, and you can't tell. So what? Maybe he just puts it in all his projects. I would imagine he's just putting it on all of his projects. Put it in here. Martin Mitas. What is his license? No, no interfacing with the C Markdown. I guess it's a plugin. I mean, I'm not sure exactly why you wouldn't want to load this in another API. Like he's got, I could see with this, he's just got the Markdown dot C. But like, where is he exposing his functions here? I mean, usually you put that in the header. I mean, it's static. Maybe you load that from the OBS header, so you don't have to define that in your header, because it's just like a bunch of function pointers, basically static function pointers. P equals prompt. CSS style going on. What, this guy's got a CSS engine going on with the OBS text thing going on, huh? Interesting. I don't know if I want to use it. I mean, it's got a naked string comparer going on over here. It goes way too quick. And you look up. So where? I'm sorry. Let's look at the top here. Where's he getting this stuff for? MD4C HTML. This must be a basic HTML engine. Okay, so this is the API, and then MIDI, and then this one is might have. Okay, right. MD4 Markdown pressure. Right, MIDI. Okay, hold on. Yeah, because where didn't I see the STRCMP? Right, no, that's in his code. That wasn't in the MD4. Are they doing that? Oops. No. Make any string compare function calls. It's in the header. HTML. So what does this thing support? CSS too? Yeah, how is he doing the CSS style sheet? Is he doing like just like a bare minimum primitive CSS style sheet, roll his own deal? Man, I don't look at other people's code enough, dude. I'm up to my eyeballs in my own C++ code for script 2 on GitHub. Getting into some more advanced AI stuff. What am I doing? So Marked. It always just is so weird to see an empty file like that. Why do you even have it? He doesn't even import it. It'd be kind of weird, right? Doesn't mean you might not want it later, right? I guess maybe. And then how does OBS support CSS? OBS must support CSS, right? That's not what I wanted to see. Okay. For browsers. So it must have like a CSS thing in OBS. Here, let me go and grab the. Oops, forgot about the OBS. Wait, CBS, OBS, Studio Get Pull. All right, that's going to take a while. So, what do we got to do? Yeah, I just, I'm just so surprised to see Exceldro's bozo ass naked string compare function. Like, I don't care what your excuse is. Oh, I compared to memory. No, dude. You never call that function ever. It's just never acceptable. I mean, it's not just like you're calling a black person the N word and sometimes it's socially acceptable, right? It's just not socially acceptable. It's not acceptable at all. Just admit it. It's worse than calling somebody the N word. CMake. Why do people hate CMake so much? Why is it there's like, I mean, it's not that bad, right? I don't think they like to install it and configure it. I think they just wish that make didn't suck. Why can't you do everything with make? I think that's really what really just is the complete turnoff for everyone. If make did not exist, okay, and CMake was part of GCC and Visual C++, nobody would care. But the problem is that people for some reason can't use make, and so then they use CMake so that they could like build things with the script. I think a lot of people would just rather use Python or just a shell script just to build their stuff. Because you look at it, if you know what you're doing, it's like, okay, what are you doing? You're wrapping make. This doesn't make any sense, right? Guess there's benefits, but I don't. I've never met anybody that likes CMake, dude, and that would be me included. I've never wanted to use it. It's always been one of those things where you use it. You do the bare minimum, and then you complain about how you don't like it. What am I looking at? All right. I hate it when that happens. I hate these keyboard shortcuts. Some people like their keyboard shortcuts, not me, dude. I don't really. more advanced than that. Maybe when I was like younger, I might want a keyboard shortcut. The more I learn about computers, the less I need keyboard shortcuts. Because most of it is like knowledge based stuff. But I don't know, pretty sure the Primogen would be like, no, bro. But, me and him are different. It's okay. I've never been a meth addict. So I couldn't really tell you. Some people love their speed. I don't know, man. Markdown path. So we could set a file, got a worker thread, got a. Why do you have a worker thread? What the hell are you doing in a worker thread? Is this just like an OBS thing? Huh. Only three references to thread, huh? P thread join. Sorry, I forgot what P thread join does. I don't do enough. So I gotta do more of that. P thread join. What do I want to do? Wait for the thread to terminate. Suspend its execution. Okay. 11 minutes. I almost feel like I should just fix this code for him, dude. I don't really look at it too detailed. Probably gonna say, "Oh, but I checked my bot." I'm sorry. I. You should never ever have a single copy to string compare, a naked string compare in your code anywhere, even if you're redundantly checking. I mean, I'd have to look at all of his code, to tell you whether or not that's like the worst thing in the world, dude. All I know is I saw string compare, and it's like, what the hell you got going on over here, bro? All right, so what's the plan with this? How do we build this? Build instructions. We got the hold the changes. What happened to the? Did I do that right? It did not. It took so long. I accidentally moved it to the wrong window. And I closed, or I accidentally closed the window. Jeez. A lot of branches. All right, what do we got? Go keep looking in here. There we go. No? Huh? Okay. Apparently it worked this time. Aborting. Please remove. Oh. How do you, I'm sorry. I can never remember this thing. Reset dash hard get pull. Why can't I remember that? I've been doing it my whole life. I just don't have to do it that often, you know. Get reset dash hard get. What? Get clean? Damn, bro. Damn. Do we do that? Boring. I guess I gotta thrash my. Well, this is an SSD, so I will just download it again because this doesn't make any sense to try to fight these guys. What happened? Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. Maybe this wasn't the best way to go about doing this. Because it's not. Damn it. Probably gotta close the terminal now, huh? Ah. What says? Oh yeah, now you're gonna need. No, I don't have permission to delete it. I hate that. What else? Where else would it? Oh wait, right. Close out Visual Studio Code, right? All right, cool. Then that deleted it. I wish VS Code didn't do that. Just about 2 steps away from installing Chrome OS on my new laptop. 32 gigabyte Intel Core Ultra 7 1558, so it's pretty decent. Not as good as the AMD, but kind of interested to see whether or not I could replace my Windows laptop with a Chromebook. But that would eliminate my ability to do like music stuff in Windows. So kind of looking at getting a 16 gigabyte AMD Ryzen 7 8845HS with 1 terabyte for under $400 on eBay. That'd be dope. For a Chromebook, because it doesn't use that much RAM, but I do want to do CAD with it, and it does have an iGPU, so and I might want to do 32 gigabytes, but yeah, I don't know what to say. Soldered RAM is way faster, so it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. When you run out of RAM, it just stops the show and then it thrashes your SSD. Generally not a good thing. What am I looking for? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I was spacing out looking at the hard drive copy files going, man, this is going to take forever, huh? All right. What do we do? All right. So, does he have any instructions in here? To build. Check out this repository, plugin markdown. Add submodule to plugins. So what, I have to build the plugin in with OBS Studio. I don't like that. It's always been a huge turnoff to me. Wait, hold on. What's the standalone build? Is that what I'm thinking? Standalone build? I don't know what to say. That's not correct markdown syntax. Look at this. Guys, oh my god. He's a ninja. I'm not gonna talk too much shit about this guy's stuff because he moves really fast. And I don't. So I'm sorry. I'm not an armchair manager here. What do we gotta do? Oh, don't I have to like get clone now? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to turn my camera back on. Download the zip. Oh shit. Whatever, it's just a hard drive. I'm not thrashing anything. So let's do the can't just like do the master branch, huh? I can see that. Download zip. Is this what I'm download install at? Download source. Go to GitHub. Go to releases. We're gonna download this source zip over here. Where is this? What the hell? Huh? Oh, so that's just like a bunch of stuff on there at one. Is that what the MD4 checksum is doing? It's just like basic checksum. Not cryptographically secure, it's just easy, right? I don't understand why they don't do the CRC check. Maybe is CRC just like only good for a certain amount of bytes? I forgot. I used to know stuff like that, but so source code. Do we want the GZ? I don't really like the GZ to be 100%. Personally, would rather let the operating system do that and like to download it and to it can be a pain in the butt. Module 4, self-driving car. Totally not what I wanted, right? What do we want? Shit. Oh no, time's up. I want to get this stuff going on. So what do I need to do? I want to do, I think, workspace 2. I like this format. Workspace 1, 2, 3, 4. So workspace 1 is your code, and it's not other people's code. Workspace 2 is your second party workspace. So I'm going to have other people's code mixed in with my code. All right? And then workspace 3 is third party workspace. This is not my code. Workspace 4 is my workspace on the dedicated NVMe thing. I'm going to actually kill that camera because there's no real point in having it on. This camera does everything I need it to do, except for keyboard shortcuts, right? So we got this. So let's do oh, can I put the tab in here? Not super fast, but who cares? All right. So now we can take this. What are they doing with that? Okay. All right. All right. Welcome to the circus. What am I supposed to do? Okay. Wait, what happened? Where'd it go? I hate that. Mm. Down, but these are installed. I want to build. Building. Window. Right. I think that was just being a bozo there a second ago, unfortunately. Yeah. We're going to build it. We're going to grab the source, the current stuff, set the current directory to OBS Studio. Make it available. I have CMake, right? Oh, of course I have CMake. It'd be kind of weird if I didn't have CMake. Right? All right. What is this? So I prefer to do this. Provide a better parser than this. What's in the entity again? Entity lookup. This is a giant monster. Medium-sized monster. So entity, this must be like, in your HTML entities. Personally, I would have called it an H entity. Hyper entity is a good name. What exactly is this? R. What is this? I don't recognize these. Down arrow, bottom, thin space. I'm a little bit confused as to what these are. Code points. Like a Unicode thing. I should know this. Okay, so where's this thing at? Running out of time, but I mean, I got kind of closer. Well, I don't like how his build instructions just said like follow the install instructions over here. It's like, okay, well, what for Visual Studio? Right. So what do we gotta do? Uh-oh. It's frozen. All right, well, my keyboard shortcut's locked up, so I'm gonna dip out because it's supposed to be an hour-long live stream. Have a good day. I'll try to get this built tonight, and then I gotta go do some drone research.